Hi everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And Sam and I are happy to have the athletic director at CHS, Brent Duncan, joining us once again and brings us up to date on all the news from CHS. Brent?
I'm happy to be here.
Always glad to have you.
Always good to be with both of you.
I heard we had some success at Saturday at the Rushville.
Yeah, our cross-country team competed in
Okay.
the Rushville Regional. We got 3 of our kids that advanced on to the semi-state this coming Saturday at Shelbyville. Those 3 kids were Tylissa Beckner, Caroline Art in the girls' race, and Adam Art in the boys' race. So, and all the kids ran a good race Saturday. There's some real high-quality state-ranked teams in that thing. So, it's a great race to watch. But 10:30 on Saturday, the girls will run at Shelbyville, and then the boys will run at 11:15.
And those winners advance to
State meet. So, we'll see if we can get out.
That's where? IUPI or?
Well, it used to be in Terre Haute. It still may be at Terre Haute. So they ran
Worry
over
about
to-
that after they win.
That's got to be in the.
After they
Since we're not
advance.
taking a team, you have to be in the top 10 individuals that's not on an advancing team, and they'll take 5 teams. So we'll see where we fall.
what classes are these youngsters
So
in?
there's Caroline is a senior, Tylissa is a junior, and Adam is a sophomore.
Okay. And the 2 aren't children, or the coaches? Children?
2 aren't children, or Coach Glenn's aren't two kids.
He's done a good job with the cross country.
Yeah, this is his 3rd year, I believe, and he's making changes, and hopefully we'll continue to grow our numbers. And I know that the ex-cross country coach Kelly House, and it's Kelly McCollum now, used to be Kelly Flum, started the youth county running program, and I think we had 120 some kids participate in the Fayette County youth race against each school, had their own team, and they competed about 2 weeks ago, so had a great turnout for that event.
That's good. Happy to have that happen on Saturday for the kids, because they work pretty hard. They work as hard as any of the athletes.
Yeah, it's different, because when you're running, it's you and your, as they say, the pack. You try to finish in a group, and if you've not come out and watched cross country, it's a different kind of animal, and it's hard to see the whole 3.1 mile course. So you try to find strategic spots to stay in where you might see them in more than one spot. But most cross country courses don't loop around on each other, so. It gets a little hard to follow them. You got to be in pretty good shape to run to the right spots to get there in time. So,
The Rushville course, is there a set mileage for each course?
yeah, it's 3.1 miles.
Okay.
So everybody runs a 5K. So, and Rushville runs over at the middle school. If you know where their track and soccer field is, there's a big soccer complex across the street right by Ben Rush Elementary School. So, or whatever the name of their elementary school is over there. So.
Benjamin Rush, isn't it?
Is that their elementary? I know that's their middle school name. I think
I
it's
think
their
so.
elementary school as well. And I know they
Okay.
got 2 elementary schools in one building, so one's on one side of the building, one's on the other side. So
Well, I want to congratulate those youngsters and hope they do well Saturday.
thank you. They did a great job this past weekend.
Spartan's football team kind of struggled Friday night as we had Batesville come to town. Kind of a rainy night, which didn't help the play and didn't help the fans.
No, but the fans are coming out. We've had great crowds all year long.
Yes.
We've had a couple bad weather nights early. The first game of the year with Richmond was kind of nasty a little bit. And we've kind of been lucky at home, but it's kind of a little rainy, kind of
And
kept
cool.
a few of the fans away. And spring or fall couldn't have held out another 2 or 3 days. So it seemed like winter got here before fall ended. But we had a good crowd, and the kids played hard. And
Senior night,
it was a great senior night for
Yes.
the band and the cheerleaders and Spartanettes and
Right.
the football team. So recognize all those people that do a lot of outstanding work for all of us and all, not just sports, but just as students in general.
Spartan sort of struggled, and TV3 was at the ball game on Friday night, so we'd like to show some of the footage from that game right now.
Levi's done a good job with the band. I don't think they're out.
He has done a nice job.
It's getting bigger and the guard's back. That game's been canceled for today, in case you didn't know.
Junior varsity game.
Yeah, we only had 13 kids that can play and no quarterback, so we don't have enough kids to take them. We just kind of like the Colts, we make too many turnovers. We can't afford to make mistakes or penalties when they cover.
Batesville's a good team.
They are.
Yeah, they won the
High
3A division of the conference.
There's Hidley's taking it in, or nearly there. He's a tremendous player.
Yeah, he leads the team, and if you're going to beat Batesville, he's the fellow you have to stop.
Although statistic-wise, I think we did pretty well against him. I know at least first half when Grady came out and talked to us that they had held him back from what his average would have been as far as passing and rushing.
Who's that?
Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
So Batesville just seems like year in and year out, they just play well.
Yes.
You gotta have some more horses. Good catch by
This was
Shaker.
nice. That was, yeah.
Yeah.
And it got the Spartans on the board.
Somebody snapped a picture of that at the right time. You can see him catching it. The other guy doesn't have his hands on the ball at all. And if it's a tie goes to offensive guy.
Final home game of the season. The Spartans have sort of struggled all season long, but effort hasn't been an issue.
No, I think I've seen improvement as the year has gone along in the last couple games. Even though the score doesn't indicate it, we played really well against Lawrenceburg. And
Yes.
even East Central, I thought we did some things well. They just had a little more manpower than we had. And even in the Batesville game, there were some positive signs, and we just got to get a way to finish it. It's kind of when you struggle a little bit, it's hard to find ways to win, and you can't afford to make mistakes when you're young, and those hurt you when you get turnover or a penalty that's, even you go back to the Lawrenceburg game, it's 3rd and 3, and we're driving down the field and we're up by 5, and we have a illegal procedure call. Now we go to 3rd and 8, and we can't recover from it.
Yes.
Where if we go maybe
Yes.
4th and 1, we go for it, and we're still in their end, and things are a little bit, maybe we score again. So it's all those little things that can shoot you down a little bit that people don't always see, and they just see the final outcome. Small things along the way that make the big difference.
Seems like every game there have been mistakes at very crucial times.
Yeah, we've had some turnovers that we've forced them, and then maybe 2 or 3 plays later, we give it right back to them.
Yes.
Or we don't make a drive, and we stall out, and then we got to kick it back to them. So hopefully in time, as they mature, those are things that will take care of themselves, and they learn how to win again.
But the coaches have always had the kids ready to play.
Yeah, I think they do a great job on the weekends of putting time in. I know
Yes.
the defensive coaches are in about 5:30 or 6 on Saturday morning. They don't leave till about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and the offensive coaches come in on Sunday night. So been in those seats, so I know how many hours they go in there.
It's a
So
lot of work.
more than most people realize. So
And for the coaches, a lot of it's year-round.
yeah, anymore, it's if that's your sport, you're doing something in the off season, and starting here in about 3 or 4 weeks, the football team will be able to go 2 days a week, 2 hours a day again. So not counting just going in the weight room where they can do that any other day, but they can have the footballs out and they can run drills and get ready for next year, starting here in about 4 or 5 weeks, sometime right after Christmas. So we'll see how that goes. Or I think it's in November. I said Christmas, but I think November. We'll just make sure we get the right week so we don't violate any rules. So.
Yeah, it's almost a year-round sport. In fact, most of the athletes.
Yeah, I think
year-round.
anymore it's more than what it was when we played. So expectations. Of course, I think most of our coaches do a good job of trying to find days where they're doing theirs and the next day somebody else is doing, so they're not putting kids in that bind of
Right.
trying to pick which sport they need to go to at the same time. So
Right.
I think from our coaches' standpoint, they've done a great job with that, of trying to help each other out and not monopolize the athletes. So.
Great program at CHS, I think. The athletic program's in good shape.
Yeah, I think that our kids and our coaches do a good job. We all have things
Yes.
we can improve upon, and obviously we'd like our numbers to grow in a lot of our sports to have more competition internally, which will make our teams better. So that's our goal, to get more kids out and play. Sometimes that's a hard task because they all have their own outside activities
Sure.
and likes that they like, and some have to work, and that puts a little damper on us sometimes of what we can
Smaller
do.
enrollments and more sports. It's spreading them a little thinner.
Yeah, we have 20 varsity sports that you got a chance to pick from throughout the school year. So between 10 in the boys and 10 in the girls, and hopefully sometime we get unified track and unified football going, which is our special needs kids, and along with our regular ed kids having teams they can compete as now. So hopefully we can get that rolling here in the next couple of years, if not sooner.
The new field house may encourage some youngsters to come out for sports.
Yeah, you never know when you build new facilities.
Sure.
The lure of that new attraction. So we'll be excited to get that up and running, and it'll serve a lot of purposes for our high school campus.
That's
So,
right.
When do you anticipate groundbreaking?
well, we're hoping in November, I believe, at the latest December.
That's
So
only a couple weeks away.
I think they had a meeting last board meeting. We talked about putting the bids out. And I can't remember the exact date, but I think they put them out maybe on Thursday, or this Thursday or last Thursday, and then they're going to open them here before long and get those contractors with the architects and see the shovel go in the ground here. Hopefully,
Well, we
real
hope so.
soon.
We hope so.
So final plans have been designed and accepted?
Yeah, we've seen pictures, and I don't know all the parameters and details, but they've tweaked them a couple of times, and they've been to the board, and I'm sure they'll get tweaked maybe one or two more times once
Sure.
we get the bids to go out. So
Have you had input on any of
coaches
that?
have had input, I've had input, so it's been a great time with all of us working together.
Now's the time to
what we want and
figure out what you want.
what the coaches are interested in and what they think they need to have, and everybody's listened and come up with plans and then we'll see how hopefully it'll come to fruition.
Good.
So I don't have a doubt that it's going to, so it's just a
Right.
matter of when it gets done. So
It was 3 basketball-size courts in...
yeah, a little bit longer than 3, but there'll be 3 courts in it.
Okay,
with
then
tennis courts on them and
offices?
place to play. There'll be in project number 2. There'll be some office areas and around that
Okay.
area. So, it'll have tennis courts. It'll have indoor hitting cages and batting cages and
Yes.
volleyball courts and track around the edge and an open end for some agilities and plyometrics and
Weights.
different types of training. The weight room's still over in the other building right now, so it's more important for all of our coaches to have some space to do some agility training and not just monopolize a big area for just a certain piece where some people may skip ropes and do dot drills and agility drills, and a place to have a pole vault pit, and it's supposed to have a long jump, hopefully box in it, and sand pit, so all those things hopefully will come around. So.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it really does. An exciting time coming up. This week in sports at CHS, not a whole lot going on. The junior varsity football game at Batesville to close the season was today, but understand it was postponed or canceled?
It has been canceled.
Okay.
Just do numbers from us and them, so, and the weather probably.
Sure. On Friday, the football section opens. The Spartans meet Richmond at Spartan Stadium at 7 o'clock with the kickoff. Area football team records: Richmond 1-8 after losing to Kokomo 56-16 in the final season game. Their one win was over the Spartans 34-16 in the first game of the season back in August. In addition to the Kokomo game, the Red Devils lost to Lawrence North, Indianapolis Tech, Muncie Central, Marion, McCutcheon, Lafayette, Jeff, and Anderson. The Red Devils score an average of 14 points a game and give up an average of 40 points. The Spartans' offensive average is 11. Their defensive average is 43. Only 3 points separate the teams, so
No, a lot
Friday night
has
could be
changed.
very
A
exciting.
lot of things have changed in the 9 weeks that we've been playing, so
Sure.
I think it's time for the Spartans to get a win this week. So that's the goal.
And I think that's very doable.
I think
Very
we were
doable.
much more improved from
Yes.
where we were to start the regular season out in the week 1, so hopefully.
Kids can cut down on mistakes, and as we know, defense wins games, so tighten up the defense. And
Oh, obviously, and that's the key. We have to stop them.
Yes.
They're going to be a little quicker, probably foot speed than we are consistently year in and year out. So, but our kids have worked hard, and the coaching staff,
Right.
and get all of our fans to be supportive and come out and root them on and try to get them a cheer. Of course, ticket price is $6, and no all-sport ticket gets in since it's the
You have to
IHSA.
mention that,
so
don't you?
I do. So hopefully our fans that have been coming will still
Sure,
come in and support
right,
them,
they
even though they're going to have
understand,
to buy
right.
a ticket this time and not get in there. So it's always good to see a packed house for our kids. So.
a win Friday will put you where next? Do you have the next?
Well, that depends.
Okay, depends on.
Mooresville or Beech Grove,
Okay.
or possibly us, depending on who would win. If we win, and I believe if Mooresville win, we'll be back here.
Okay,
If we win and Beech Grove wins, we'll be at Beech Grove, so.
so we want
depends.
Mooresville to win with the Spartans.
I would take it.
I
I'd
think
take anything.
Mooresville has one of the better records in that sectional, but it'd be nice to play at home again.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Kelly's been here for seven years, and for 7 years, we've hosted the first round of the sectional. I don't know how many more times we can get lucky, but I think with those ping pong balls coming out, eventually that odd's going to go against us. So. But we enjoy hosting, so.
Yes, a great facility, and I think it's only right that the CHS has tournaments.
A lot of compliments on our field, in the grass field that we have, so a lot of coaches love it. Best field, they say, on this side of the state. So.
Best press box on this side of the state.
I don't go in many of those, but I've been in a few that are pretty cramped.
Pretty lousy.
So.
Well, back to area teams. Franklin County is 2-7. They lost 41-0 at Harrison, Ohio. They will begin their sectional play Friday against East Central. East Central won the Class 4A conference title because they defeated 3 opponents in Class 4A.
I'd like to hopefully sometime get them back to a 7-game conference game, but we're working on that. So.
In Batesville, I mentioned, won the 3A section.
Yep, 2 good quality teams. So.
Yes, well represent the conference and everything. Rushville is 5-4 after winning 41-35 over Greensburg, and it doesn't play in the sectional until a week from Friday since they drew a bye in the tournament pairings. Union County 5-4. They won 30-16 over Tri. They go to Nicetown Friday. Centerville is 5-4. They lost to Nicetown 21-8. They go to Indianapolis-Scene Friday, and Cambridge City is 0-9. They lost 32-14 to South Decatur. They play at home Friday night against Edinburgh. We'll talk a little bit about the winter sports starts, if it's okay with you.
Got it. Starts today for girls basketball.
That's right. Here are the dates. Organized first practices can begin for winter sports according to IHSA guidelines. The girls basketball, as Brett mentioned, opens today. Girls swimming next Monday, October the 22nd. Wrestling is on October the 29th. Boys basketball and boys swimming November the 5th. And gymnastics on November the 12th. Some of the season opening dates on Thursday, November the 1st, the girls basketball with New Palestine, Spartan Bowl. A scrimmage will be at 12 noon on Saturday, October the 27th at Union County. The Lady Spartans freshmen open their season November 19th in Greensburg. Their first home game will be November the 29th with South Dearborn. All the home games will be played at the CHS gym. By the way, that's the first game of a doubleheader, right, with boys freshmen?
Yeah, we've tried in our conference, as long as we have the right amount of numbers for our girls, we've tried to play a girl and boy doubleheader, or boy-girl doubleheader, depending on where we're at, who plays first. But kind of helps with our travel. They all can ride together.
Right.
Instead of having one game that's over in about 45 minutes to get it set up, at least you have a couple where if you got, concessions and officials, everybody's there. So it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone instead of having the girls on one date and the boys on another date. So
makes sense.
It works out better for all of us. So.
Right. It's not just here, but it's, as you say, in the other.
Yeah, every time we try to play a conference game, we try to play.
That's good.
Boy, girl, either at our place or at their place. So.
They can support each other then, and
Well, you've been to a lot of freshman games. There's not always a lot of fans besides mom and dad. So that way they got a few extra bodies to help cheer them on, and you be a part of the crowd and be a part of the fam. Plus, from a financial savings standpoint, we're not traveling twice on buses to the same place within a week or so of each other. So.
And those games are played at the gym at CHS.
Yeah, they're played currently at the high school gym.
Right. Will any be moved to Spartan Bowl?
Not unless we have to with the conflict in the gym.
Right, yeah.
Most of those have been taking place, so.
Right.
We've tried to make our schedule so we don't have too many conflicts at home.
What's the seating capacity at the gym?
Well, I don't know exactly how to tell you, but it's a little over 1,000.
Yes.
So we can get all of our students at the high school in the gym, so. I don't know if I've ever looked at the number, but it's well over 1,000.
I would think so.
But we don't pull the bottom bleachers out, so that probably cuts it down to probably 600 or 700, so. But it holds quite a few, so.
Well, we hope the fans come out and watch the ninth graders.
Yeah,
See
absolutely.
the girls and boys at the same night and everything.
You can sign up on eventlink.com as a community member, and you can see all the schedules at your own house. It'll send you email every day to your place if you want to what's happening that day at the high school. So.
what's that called?
Eventlink.com, and then you can sign in as a community member. Then you can pick which teams you'd like to check out their schedules on. Okay. And if I update it, it'll change it overnight. So, which is a good feature for our public.
Sure it is.
Nice. On Monday, November the 19th, the boys freshman basketball team opens at Greensburg. Its first home game will be November 29th as the second part of that doubleheader with South Dearborn. On Wednesday, November 21st, the boys junior varsity and varsity basketball with Union County at Spartan Bowl. The Spartans scrimmage with Nicetown on Saturday, November 17th. at 1 o'clock at Spartan Bowl. What happens at a scrimmage?
Well, you got certain things you can do each quarter, so it's
not
a
a
running
game.
clock, it's not a game. One
Okay.
time you can only play man defense, next time you can only play zone. Third period you can press. Fourth period the coaches have the options, and there's a fifth period if we do the JV. So it just depends. Coaches can talk, you can be on the floor a little bit. The clock never stops.
Are there
Don't shoot free
officials?
throws. There are officials
Okay.
because they're getting their practice in as
Okay.
well. So we'll have officials there. So they'll call like a regular game, but you don't get to shoot free throws until the last minute of each quarter. So it's a little different. So the score isn't always indicative of what the game is, because if you get fouled and you're not shooting free throws, the score doesn't go up. So unless you keep putting it in the bucket. So
Is there a change in the coaching staff?
pretty consistent. We have a new volunteer, Brad Cutter, has been the head girls coach at Wapahani. He used to coach at South Dearborn with Coach Brown, and he's a
Good.
teacher here at Maplewood, and so he's on staff with us this year. So outside that, we're pretty consistent.
Okay.
I think that's good that you have an assistant that, even though it was in girls, that has had head coaching experience.
Yeah, he's been done freshman coach, JV coach, varsity assistant, head girls coach. So he's got about 7 years under his belt.
And knows Coach Brown very well too. So that's,
Obviously, he's been around Carrie for quite a bit, and Carrie he asked Carrie if we had any jobs open, so he teaches elementary school, so he's working at Maplewood. It's good to have Brad on staff with us.
very good.
And he's a volunteer, right?
He will be our junior varsity coach going forward.
Okay.
So started out as a volunteer, now he's in a paid spot.
Okay.
How do we get those paid spots, friend?
Got to apply.
No.
Got to apply and hope Carrie likes you.
No, I'm talking about here.
Oh, talk to John.
On November 17th, the wrestling team opens its season at Lawrence Central and has its home opener on November the 20th with Knightstown and Union County in the CHS gym. Same coach for wrestling?
Yeah, Mac Taylor and Justin Lysing are still
Okay.
the two coaches, and hopefully he'll continue to get better. We had more kids wrestle last year, and hopefully we have a lot more come out, and they're working on trying to get a youth program running again, so all things are headed in the right direction there.
And they are at the CHS gym, right?
Yep, they compete at the high school.
Yeah, I thought the wrestling.
Except for the Spartan Classic, and then it's at the bowl.
Oh, well, that, you couldn't hold that at the high school.
No, not with 32 teams and 4 mats. We can't get 4 mats on the floor at the high school gym, so.
Co-ed swimming on Monday, November the 26th, diving only at Centerville, home opener the next day with Eastern Hancock and Batesville at the CHS pool. And gymnastics, preview night, December the 12th, CHS gym. First event of the season will be January the 8th with New Palestine and Newcastle. And they too are at the gym at CHS, right?
Yeah, all at the gym.
Right, that's what I thought, right. The middle school winter sports, Monday, November the 12th, the boys' white basketball team opens the season with St. Michael Brookville, Spartan Arena. On Tuesday, on the 13th of November, the red team also opens at home, meeting Newcastle, and the girls' basketball teams in wrestling, they do not open their seasons until January.
You always kind of find that odd that the girls' high school starts 2 weeks before
First.
the boys, but the middle school is completely opposite. So I just never really figured that combination out. So I think it'd be the other way around, but it is what it is.
Does IHSAA govern when the middle school starts?
No, the IHSA only is at the high school. There's
That's
no
what I
true
thought.
governing body. The middle schools can join as a junior member of the IHSA, but their bylaws don't come into play with the middle
So
school.
who decides those schedules?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of been that way for years, so I assume just sometime the ADs have started doing it that way, and it's just kind of stuck, because every school that we play
Does the same?
does the same thing, so to change it now would probably be a nightmare,
It would.
scheduling-wise, so.
Well, it's an IHSA guideline. I mean, you have to go along with,
Well, middle school doesn't have.
oh, okay, you guys were
Yeah,
still right.
but high school can do that, so.
Right, yeah. Now, you told me earlier that even though it isn't a guideline, they kind of follow the IHS
Yeah, Trent.
recommendations.
Yeah, Trent Liggett at the middle school does a good job with that. They check their grades, make sure they're going to class, they have
Sure.
all the attendance, just like we do at the high school. So he tries to follow, no, he doesn't try, he does follow those guidelines, but truly the IHS doesn't have guidelines for the middle school, but most of them, I'm assuming, try to follow the guidelines, so the
Sure.
kids are used to that. so.
Right.
And he does a great job with that, so.
There aren't any elementary school basketball teams anymore, are there?
Well, I mean, they all play in the park. Cary has a dirt road basketball league, and then the parks have a girls' league that's getting ready to start. And in fact, they're scheduling gym times now between the boys' league and the girls' league. And then the parks will have another. Now, there are some smaller schools that have a 5th and 6th grade team. We've had some inquiries about ours, but it's hard. You don't want to just have one 5th and 6th grade travel team because then you're starting to get rid of kids. And AAU's been around for a long time, so that's always an option. But if you had a 5th and 6th grade team that says Connersville, then you got to open up to everybody, and
Yes.
you got to make sure you got enough coaches. You really don't want to cut kids at the 5th and 6th grade level because
Right.
they may grow. You
Right.
never know what's going to happen, and they
Right.
get disgruntled and they don't come back. So
Sure.
if we had 50 girls or 50 boys come out at the 5th and 6th grade level, we would like to keep them all and finding people to coach that and get an extra gym time. Not that something that can't be done in the future, but right now it hasn't been done because everybody's just, if you want to travel, you've got an AAU team and they get in a league and they go to play. So.
Are those elementary school gyms used then?
Yeah, quite
A
a
lot?
bit. Yeah, they're scheduling right now for gym time, and we try to limit them to 2 days a week for the little kids to practice, no matter what grade level you are, 1st and 2nd grade. I was just on the phone with a coach coming over here, talking about his gym time, 6:30 to 8 on Wednesday. So, they're trying to get those times in, and
Sure.
it's hard because everybody needs them. And we have 6 elementary gyms, and they're packed, and we'll see what the impact of the field house does with that in the future, because we're obviously going to use it for our high school stuff, and then if there's time, that might be something we look at in the future of letting our youth kids come into the field house and practice because we'll have 3 courts in there. So that's something that could happen in the future, but those will be things that have to be discussed as we move forward down the road in the next 13 months or so.
Would you like to plug your mattress sale?
Mattress sale this coming Saturday, 10 to 5.
Right around the corner, right?
At CHS Cafeteria. They'll have 22 to 23 mattresses set up.
Okay.
Get a referral, mention the kid's name and what sport they play, and then the money that we make from that mattress will go to that kid's sport. So we'll put them into their clubs at school so they can buy things that they need for their sports that they want to buy. So our goal is to sell 50 mattresses. The most we've ever sold at one time is 43, so it'd be nice to get over that 50 mark. And
Right.
you can buy sheets and pillowcases and pillows, and
You pick those up that day, or?
they will deliver them and set them up. Now, there might be a little fee to set up, I don't know, but you don't have to pick them up, they won't be there, but within 10 days you'll have it at your house, and they'll set it up for you, so, if you want them to, so.
Is this the 3rd year for an event?
We did it this will be 5 years, but we've only done it 3 times with this company. We did it one other time with another company, and we took a year off. And
Okay.
so this company did it the first 2 years, and another company did it the 3rd year, and we took last year off, and so they're back for their 3rd time. So we've sold 73 with them over the 2 times we've had them, so it'd be nice to get over the 50 mark.
So it's been a success.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's 7 hours of my day, which is fine, but the money goes to a good cause. And
Okay, let's talk about the girls and the boys. They have some dinners or suppers as the season gets underway.
well, the football team will have their banquet at the end, and we'll have our parent meeting here in a couple weeks, and we'll have our
And,
winter sports award on October 30th.
30. Okay.
Parent meetings the following Wednesday for the winter sports, and then we'll go from there.
And I understand the most valuable player is chosen by the teammates, right?
MVP and Middle Latitude Award winners are picked by their teammates, so we'll find out who that is on October 30th, because they don't tell me ahead of time, so.
That's a great award. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you like to think that the kids look at who's the people on the court that they can't do without, and who's the
Yes.
kid that's not necessarily the kid not playing, but that kid that's the mental attitude that's there every day and encouraging their kids to get better, and whether they're playing or not playing, but you always hope they use
Sure.
it as better judgment. So,
what are some of the other awards given out?
well, the coaches may have their own individual,
Okay.
but they do it their own banquet or something. But the 2 that we give out are just the
Okay,
MVP and
those
the
two.
mental attitude, and we'll give out the kids who had Tri-Sport Award winners last year in the spring. For our underclassmen, we'll give those out at this one. And Spartan scholars if they're over a 3.7 from last school year, and Tri-Sport if they did 3 sports last year. So we'll get them all out.
Good luck to the Spartans Friday night, and as always, thanks for joining us here on the Spartan Sports Report, Brent.
Thanks, Fran and Sam. Appreciate you having me back.
Thanks everyone for watching this edition of the Spartan Sport Report here on TV3. Good evening, everybody.